Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel, Astro Assurance. Some conjunctions in our horoscope are more important than the others. Some conjunctions bring more energies, they bring some more manifestations, and they also bring some unique results. In the matter of uniqueness, every conjunction is definitely unique. However, some conjunctions, some sharing of energies are more karmic, are more important, and more should be delved into it to understand it at both a karmic level and a spiritual level, so that we understand those energies well and we then manifest those energies very well. And so the conjunction with some planets are very important. For instance, the placement of Rahu, Ketu and Saturn are the most critical placements in the horoscope. Which houses they rule, where they are placed, with what other planets they are sharing energies with, where their aspects are, and so on. And yogas and doshas of these planets also are critical. Now, amongst these three planets or planetary entities, of course we know Rahu and Ketu are mathematical points and not actual planets by themselves, they are shadow planets. However, yet Rahu, Ketu also manifest very strong energies and also bring very strong connotations from their placement about the horoscope, about the life, about the karma as well. Now, amongst these, most important is the placement of Saturn. Saturn is the natural ruler of the 10th house and also the natural ruler of the 11th house, the house of aspirations and wishes and desires that you want to be fulfilled, and the karma. So in that sense, Saturn, by ruling both your karma actions and desires, means without actions, without effort, desires will not come through, and hence Saturn is a very karmic placement and a very karmic planet. And so any energies that Saturn shares with any other planet are very important, in fact critical to the horoscope. And while we look at yogas with benefics at a materialistic level, and we want more out of life, we want more sensual pleasures and the manifestation of them, Saturn's placement is critical both for the materialistic endeavors that we have plus the karmic and spiritual endeavors that we have, and hence Saturn's placement becomes very critical in the horoscope. And Saturn, being the karmic equalizer, will ensure that at a karmic level, at a spiritual level, you do pay off their debt, some in this life, some maybe in the others, according to the Sanatan Dharma, which believes in reincarnation and believes in many lives. Important is Saturn's placement, that without looking into Saturn's placement and where it is sharing energies with, life cannot be lived better and easier. If you understand Saturn's placement well, if you manifest Saturn's energies and it's what it is denoting in your horoscope well, then a lot of things can be easier in your life and can also be very fruitful in life. One such challenge for us is to understand when Saturn is in conjunction with other planets. Now, Saturn's placement alone itself is not easy, but when it gets into a conjunction with other planets, it's a potpourri of energies which is bringing in two planetary energies on sharing of energies coming together. And with Saturn, it is not 1 plus 1 is 2. With Saturn, 1 plus 1 can be 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, or 1 plus 1 can also be minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. And hence important attention should be given to Saturn's conjunction with other planets. So while I talk about Saturn in different houses and what they mean in some other video, today I'm going to talk about Saturn's conjunctions with single planets and what they mean for you in your horoscope, because these are more important than Saturn being placed alone in a horoscope. Saturn being placed alone will give a lot of clarity to your horoscope in terms of its placement and its aspects also. That is an easier one to do. But Saturn in conjunction with another planet is a tougher thing and not easily understood by a lot of us. So let's deep dive into, if there is one planet which is placed with Saturn, I don't want to make it too complex by saying 2 planets, 3 planets, 4 planets, 5 planets placed with Saturn, maybe some other time for some other video. But if there is a single planet placed with Saturn, Then what does that conjunction bring forth, and what is the energies that conjunction manifests, and how do we approach it? How do we look at its manifestation? So let's start right at the top. Firstly, Saturn and Sun. Sun is a soul, and Sun denotes what is the spiritual ascension that is possible for us, where the soul's journey is, and where we need to move towards. And so Sun's placement in the horoscope is very, very important, because that is also a placement which will make us shine. That's an opportunity for us to rise and shine at a materialistic level, and using that energy to do good for others and then rise spiritually as well. So that's a strong denotation of Sun. When Saturn gets placed with the Sun, this becomes a very spiritual placement, because your karma, which is Saturn, and your Atma, both are coming together. So when the karma is coming with Atma, then the more better you do your karma, the better you manifest the Atma, and the Atma's journey, the soul's journey, the Sun's journey. So understanding the energy is very, very important. So what does this mean? It means that understand what your karma is, what is the soul manifesting, and where you can rise spiritually. Which means that this is a leadership position given to you. This is something which is a lot of energy is given to you to take the step forward, to take the reins in your hand, as the Sun is on the chariot and has the reins and moves around the zodiac. So is your chance to take the leadership position, to always put the step forward when something needs to be done. So which means that Sun and Saturn together, look at what the manifestation of that house is, what sign it is, and take a leadership position. Never take a back seat. Always put a front foot. If you need something needs to be done in your family, and people are looking at volunteers, or there is something which needs to be done, even before somebody puts up their hand, you need to put up your hand. Whether at work, whether in your life, whether in your family, whether in your habits. If you think some habit is gnawing at you and troubling you, you need to take the step forward and say, I will take control of it. I will do something about it, rather than sitting on your haunches. So Saturn and Sun together, they are yin and yang energy, they are opposite energies as well. Yet the leadership with of organization, structure, and taking everybody along and learning to be a leader, and that is something which is important for you. Many times we allow our egos to manifest. We become too arrogant and we become too spoiled. If we are appreciated, we are recognized, then sometimes we become too spoiled. So Saturn and Sun is a strong denotation that learn humility while being a leader. Earn your leadership position through humility, through hard work, through effort, and then rise high. Sun and Saturn together means you will ultimately reach the top, the pinnacle. That opportunity is given to you, but without hard work, without practicing humility, without taking everybody along, without taking care of the people who are lowest of the rung, you will not be able to rise to the top. So this is an all-round energy for very strong career growth, very strong placement to do your karma, very strong to take your soul journey up, to manifest it strongly, and to leave a mark in the world by reaching the pinnacle and being given the power and authority that you can do much more than what you think you're capable of. So wherever, if Saturn and Sun are placed together, you are given huge opportunity, hard work, organized effort over a long period of time, but the pinnacle is promised to you if you understand the placement, if you understand the energy, or if you understand the sign and work towards it. Then the next planet which is important, very important, and its conjunction is important, is Saturn and Mars. Mars is the general, the king is general. Mars energy is just next to Sun in terms of the ability to put your step forward and to act. But Sun is a different energy, it is the leader. Mars is the general himself. He has to fight, he has to assert. So Mars with Saturn means the struggle in that area is given to you. Opportunity will be given to you, but the struggle is given to you. Also, because Saturn gets debilitated in Aries, which is Mars sign. Mars is the go-getter, Saturn is a Look before you leap. Mars wants to leap without looking. He just wants to do things. Saturn says, hang on. So this is a very opposite energy, because Mars is saying, let's go. Saturn says, wait. So if one is pulling somebody along and the other person is holding on and not going, both are not able to do much. The person who is being dragged will have to put a lot of effort to stop being dragged, and the person who is dragging will have to put a lot of effort because he can't go fast because he is dragging something along. So this is a slow, steady rise. However, once the position comes to you, it's a stable position. With Saturn and Mars together, it means it will take a very slow ascension from the middle management position to the senior management position. To rise to the top of the echelon, which Sun and Saturn promises, that may not be given to you, but you will have a lot of power and authority when you reach a senior leadership position also, though you are not the topmost. And that's the manifestation of Saturn and Mars. These are the most critical positions in large organizations. They may not be at the top, but without them having their say, without them giving the go ahead, without them putting their agreement or stamp of agreement on something, nothing will be done. Without the general saying, the troops don't move. Without the general ordering fire, the troops don't fire. So keep that in mind. So Mars is do, act. Saturn holds you back. So with Mars and Saturn placement, it says think before you act. Think through, decide. But once you decide, go full energy on trying to get the results of the house Saturn and Mars are placed with. So take some time to decide. Don't take too much time to decide, because Mars energies are there. Mars and Saturn is that opportunity is given to you. If you waste too much time, the opportunity goes. So if you're looking for a job and somebody makes an offer to you, or you have two offers on hand and you're thinking and mulling and taking your time, one of them will go away, and the more important one which you in your heart of heart want, that will go away from you. So with Mars and Saturn, deliberate a little bit but act quickly. Without deliberation, don't act. Those are the Saturn and Mars energies. So wherever Saturn and Mars are placed, look at the house, look at the placement, the sign, look at Saturn and Mars, what houses they rule, and whenever you need to take an action, deliberate on it, look at the pros and cons, look at left, right, everything, and then cross the road. Don't be in a hurry to cross the road, because you will surely be stricken down, because Saturn says that if you are not delving, if you are not deliberating, if you are not thinking through before you take a decision, if you rush headlong into issues, then you will meet with an accident. So this is a troublesome position also, but if you manifest it well, long term this can give you fantastic results. Then the next important placement is Saturn with Jupiter. Saturn with Jupiter is again a very karmic placement, because in the Kalpurush Kundli, Jupiter rules the 9th house and Saturn rules the 10th house. So whenever these energies come together, Dharma and Karma, Dharma is 9th house, your duties, religious duties, and 10th house, Karma is your 10th house, where you have to do an action. That is not only work related action, but any action, any karma that you need to do in your life. And 9th house is not only your religious duties, any duty which has been given to you. So whenever Jupiter and Saturn come together, understand the rulings of which houses they rule, which signs they are placed in, and you have a very strong duty that you need to do, and you have to act in that direction. So understand what duty you have been given and act in it. So this is a strong Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga kind of position, not always though. If they come together for an Aries ascendant, then definitely this is a Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga. Again, also for a Gemini ascendant native, where Saturn and Jupiter rule the 9th and 10th house. So again, Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga comes together, which means your karma is to do your dharma. That means where you need to act is where your duty is. So understanding the duty, manifesting it, taking it forward is important. So why Saturn and Jupiter are important energies from a Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga, which means that if these two, whether they are ruling the 9th house and 10th house or not, for example, they don't do it for Taurus, they don't do it for Libra, they don't do it for Cancer and many signs. But if they are doing that, then it is a stronger denotation. Even if not, then there is definitely, when they come together, a duty of the houses that they rule, and you need to identify and act in that direction. The other thing is, Saturn is a very karmic equalizer. Jupiter says that you do your karma with wisdom. So it is not a position like Saturn and Mars where you decide and you run along. It is that you decide and you act wisely. Many times Saturn and Jupiter is not acting like an activity that you need to do, that you need to run, you need to pick up things you need to do, but it is also about advising, it is about consulting. So your dharma becomes to advise, to counsel, to guide people. Guidance of others is become the most critical one. So you have to become a counsel, you have to be a shoulder for people, you need to be the guide, you need to be the advisor, you need to be the master. So wherever Saturn and Jupiter are placed, that is a placement for you to be the guru of the houses they rule and where they are placed in and the sign they are placed in. So if they are placed in Cancer, then it means that you have to be a guru, advisor, consultant, teacher and a master in taking care of others, in supporting others, nurturing. If it is in Taurus, then money, advising people about money matters, advising people about wealth management, advising people about materialistic attributes, even stocks for example become important. So strong placement of being in banking, in accounts, being somebody who's a wealth advisor, who's a financial advisor, this becomes the placement. So your duty is to advise, to consult in the placement that Saturn and Jupiter come together. The next important placement is Saturn and Rahu, which means extremely fiery. This is more fiery than Saturn and Mars placement. The reason being is Rahu is like the nuclear energy and Saturn is like oil. When the nuclear energy and oil depot come together, very high degrees of temperature, for example, with nuclear energy is concerned, it is going to be a blast like anything else. So Saturn and Rahu is that Rahu wants to take an action immediately and the action is without effort. Saturn says without effort, without moving your muscle, without deliberating, without long hours that you put in, without hard work, I'm not going to give anything. Rahu says I don't want to do any hard work. I want to just get things and quickly through a shortcut and without doing much, without giving much. Saturn says no way. So this is a very this is a placement of falling into trouble also. And many times wherever Saturn and Rahu come together, Rahu's placement in the horoscope is about where you need to act, where your karma is, that means where your duty is, where you need to act. Saturn along with Rahu means it's a very strong denotation of what you need to do in this life, where you need to focus and act and do things. But Rahu's placement is about materialism also, that while I do my duty, I want the most materialistic output from that. Saturn says, hold on, you may want materialistic pleasures or output, but I am not going to give it to you without hard work, without dedication and without ethical behavior. If you are not morally right, if you are not ethically right, if you don't follow the law, you don't follow the conventions, I am not going to give you the success in that. So this is a very strong tug of war placement where Rahu wants to get things at any cost, is ready to go anywhere, even take wrong turns, shortcuts, anything and everything is possible, anything and everything is okay. The end is important, the means are also important for Rahu. Whereas for Saturn, end will come right only when the means come right. So wherever Saturn and Rahu are placed in the horoscope, be very careful of what decisions you take and don't be too materialistic about it. And try and avoid taking shortcuts or not putting in any effort. Even if you feel you are putting enough effort, try and put more. Try and slow down more. Try and be more patient. Try and be more ethical. Try and look into your documentation, your paperwork more. Because Saturn will put the smoky screen in front of your eyes, mislead and take you in the wrong direction. So what Saturn and Rahu is, that placement is where your karma is. But Rahu will put the wool in front of your eyes and take you in some other direction, will move you away from your karma and will move you towards materialistic tendencies, because that's Rahu's nature, misleading you. Saturn on the other hand says, hang on, don't be misled, don't be taken in by the Rahu's energies, understand your karma of the house, but do your karma dutifully, ethically. So wherever Rahu and Saturn are placed, this is going to be a struggle, it's not going to be easy, it is going to be obstacles, it is going to be upheavals, but it is also very strong placement over a period of time to be able to achieve much more if you are able to control the Rahu. Then over a period of time, as Rahu and Saturn matures, fantastic results may come out of this placement. Saturn and Ketu's placements are the best placement from a spiritual point of view, but they are the worst placement from a materialistic point of view. Why? Ketu is a planet of negation. Ketu says Ketu is the Dhwaja. You have already put the flag of victory in the house where Ketu is placed. You have already achieved it, done that, had all the materialistic pleasures. You have lived out that particular part. There is nothing more that you need to achieve there. All your sensual pleasures about the house, the materialistic pleasures have been obtained. So you don't need to focus there. You need to focus where your Rahu is there. That's why the Rahu-Ketu axis becomes important. But sometimes what happens is that we still try to focus too much where Ketu is placed without understanding the placement. We try to look at it materialistically, but those results are not for us in this life. In this life, we need to do it for others where Ketu is placed. That means do a lot of hard work in that house, but do it for others. If you get more out of that house, do it for others. The moment you try to get it for you, you lose. If Ketu is in the second house, money may come to you, though it won't be easy money won't be coming to you, but even if money comes to you, you will seldom find that you can use it personally for your personal sensual pleasures more. You may do it more for family, you may do it for your community, you may do it for parents, you may do it for siblings, but very seldom can you do most of that for yourself. And even your savings and earnings that you do, if you try to keep most of it in your name or try to save it, you will find over a period of time, there will be a time you will have to break up your savings. You will have to part with your savings. So the best placement for wherever Saturn and Ketu is not to look at it for yourself. Especially because Saturn and Ketu is a very strong placement for denial. Saturn is a planet which is excruciatingly slow with Ketu, will just not give you things easily, and Ketu is denying you. So very late in life for some result to come in is Saturn and Ketu, and this is a very spiritual planet because it is easy brownie points for you spiritually, because you are not going to get anything out of this life materialistically. So wherever Saturn and Ketu is placed, donate in that house, about that house, serve for that house, serve that relationship, and collect most brownie points for your soul. The most brownie points that you can get for your soul is through Saturn and Ketu's placement. So understand what houses Saturn rules, what sign Saturn and Ketu are placed in, and try and do the most in that direction for your spiritual ascension, not at a materialistic level. If Saturn and Ketu are in the 4th house, then forget about your domestic happiness, forget about your mental peace and all. Just do whatever you can do for your family. And Saturn and Ketu placement in the 4th house is like the middle child. So the eldest child gets all the attentions, gets all the importance, while the youngest child gets all the pampering, and he gets away even if he falls into trouble or creates trouble. The middle child is the one who's ignored most, and neither gets the importance, neither gets the pampering. And so the middle child often feels that parents are not fair to him, they don't love him or her, and they have got least out of that relationship, for example. So Saturn and Ketu placement is like that in the 4th house, where you may not get that much attention from your family, you may not get that much support from your family, not so much love, care and materialistic pleasures in your life, but you will have to do for others, because that is where the most brownie points, the most easy points you will get for the soul. Don't forget you are in this life for the soul ascension, not for your physical ascension. And so Saturn and Ketu is a free brownie points given to you at a soul level, but very less materialistic and sensual pleasures you will get out of Saturn and Ketu's placement wherever they are placed together. Now Saturn and Mercury, a very strong placement of sitting in one place and doing work for hours together, but very important work, very critical work. The most analytical work, one which actually gives results, brings about new theories, brings about new equations, brings about more upheaval, brings about more development for society, is Saturn and Mercury placement. Saturn is a placement of working for long hours, putting in hard work for many hours, many years together. Mercury is the analytical ability, being able to pinpoint and separate the rice from the chaff, and so being able to look at is what is most important, keeping it most important, able to analyze what exactly needs to be done, and then working hard in that direction for long periods of time. So whenever you are creating something, you are building something, that is Saturn and Mercury placement for you, because over a period of time you will build the best. If you are working on an application, like if you are a programmer and if you have Saturn and Mercury together, you will be able to come up with a fantastic program. If you are in accounts or finance, very strong placement for being in banking, in accounts, in finance with Saturn and Mercury, or in audits, or in safety, or anything where you need to put in long hours of work to do research, to calculate, to analyze, and then throw up your analysis. So very strong placement of Saturn and Mercury, where you become the backbone. Without analysis, without data, without where action needs to be done, doing action can be futile. So Saturn and Mercury give that. It is an opportunity to build and to come up with something which is very strongly manifested. Saturn and Mercury in the 5th house can make you very shrewd investor, very shrewd speculative actions taker. You can be very good at your numbers. You can know exactly where to invest, where not to invest, which stocks to take, which stocks not to take, where to put in your time, whether to pursue something or not, where to put in your interest, where not to take interest, whether it is the right thing for you to do or not, and whether you can get gains out of it or not, is Saturn and Mercury. But with Saturn and Mercury, it is also sometimes you can become over analytical, and sometimes you become over negative, because you read too much into something, and unless it is perfect, you don't want to do. So that is a flip side to Saturn and Mercury. Sometimes unless things are very good, things are perfect, you don't do things, and you become complaining, you become skeptical, and you sometimes you come very close to finishing and you let go. So Saturn and Mercury is that kind of a challenge. But if you sustain, if you're not cynical, even if you don't have the perfect project in your hand that you have completed, you don't have the perfect painting, you don't have the perfect solution, if you still run with it, and on the journey if you keep correcting, that is a very good placement for long-term profits, long-term success. However, if you allow the skepticism of Mercury to overshadow the hard work that you have put in with Saturn, then you will come to the finishing line and you will give up. Saturn and Mercury in the 7th house, for example, you will be too analytical, too complaining about your relations, and so you may spoil your relations, becoming too complaining, becoming too analytical, always finding fault, and then you may spoil the results. But Saturn gives stability. So if you are able to curb the complaining, the skeptical side, the analytical side of Mercury, and put it to positive use rather than negative use, then long-term stability is promised to you and given to you. So being a banker and enjoying lots of money, being a good financial analyst, being a good wealth manager, doing good as a chartered accountant, doing very well, very good in any mathematical position, or wherever analysis needs to be done, in physics, in research, these are strong. Saturn and Mercury strong placement, and good results and good success over a period of time. Just need to curb some negative tendencies which this placement can give you. Last but not the least, something which people dread, which is the Saturn and Moon conjunction, which is also the wish yoga. Saturn and Moon's placement is very unique. It is also a karmic placement, because Moon is the Manas, Moon is also the heart, and Saturn is your karmic equalizer. So Saturn and Moon's placement tells you that you need to be very, very patient and not allow your mind to run helter and skelter. The mind is always working, the mind is not stable, but what it does is, if you are not patient, if you don't look at nurturing, supporting others first before you look at yourself, you allow the rational side to overtake the emotional side, or if you allow the emotional side to completely take over the rational side, then you fall into trouble. And usually Saturn and Moon together will give you emotional upheavals, because Saturn will not allow you either to showcase or demonstrate your emotions easily, or will put you into too many such positions where you will go through many upheavals, and Saturn will test you whether you have the patience to stay, the staying power to overcome those emotional challenges and still do your karma. Or Saturn will make you too cold. Saturn is a cold planet, Moon is also the soft energy, so Saturn also sometimes makes you too soft to do things. You are not able to push yourself enough, you are not able to act assertively like a Mars energy would be there, you seem to be lost, and because of that, the decision making goes awry and becomes a challenge. So Moon is focus, Saturn will give you the patience. If you allow your mind to be cool, calm, composed, and learn to be patient and learn not to be over emotional about something, neither be too rational, but be very balanced. If somebody makes a mistake, understand the rational about it, but also be forgiving, also be somebody who still wants to keep the relationship, rather becoming too emotional and thwarting the relationship, thwarting the project, thwarting the friendship, thwarting the team, then you face challenges with Saturn and Moon. This wish comes more from your mind and how you allow the mind to act, rather than Saturn, which is just saying curb your emotions, curb your over rationality. So being peaceful, being patient, practicing meditation and being more nurturing, being more mother-like rather than being more materialistic is Saturn and Moon's placement. Now at a very strongly materialistic level, the sensual pleasures level and achievement at the world level, Saturn and Venus's placement is not an easy task. That means the struggle to get more materialistic gains out of life will not be easy. Getting the first car when you're very young, getting a lot of money, getting that dream job when you're very young, getting the dream role, getting the corner office, getting the house of your liking, all of that will not be easy when Saturn and Venus come together. In fact, getting the relationship that you want, the kind of partner you want, won't come easy. So with Saturn and Venus placement, it is about look at Venus or the materialistic pleasures with a lot of patience and work on it. The more hard work that you do when Saturn and Venus's placement come together, and deserve before you desire. Venus is all your desires. Saturn says, do you deserve it? If you don't deserve it, don't desire. So Saturn and Venus's placement is, okay, show that you deserve and it will be given to you. If you don't, if you're not able to demonstrate that you deserve this particular materialistic output that you want, whether you deserve the car, whether you deserve the role, whether you deserve the position, whether you deserve the money, whether you deserve that girl or boy, whether you deserve that house, whether you deserve the jewelry, whether you deserve that holiday, whether you deserve that kind of food, only when you show that you deserve will be given to you, and be willing to work hard for it and not be overwhelmed at your materialistic pleasure that you lose the track of your duty. So Saturn says, do your duty, don't to focus too much on materialistic pleasures, and work and deserve it, things will be given to you. So Saturn and Venus coming together is that many times you may have 2 or 3 relations which may be broken, maybe even a broken marriage, for example, or broken home, or the first home not giving you the fruits or the kind of comfort you're looking for, or first being a rented home before you buy your own house, or first going for a car which is offers given rather than buying your own car which you want, rather than your first car being your dream car, but your dream car coming only after 20-25 years into your life. So things will be slow, things will be steady, but once it's given to you. But you will have to work hard, you will have to put in a lot of effort, you will have to deserve by working hard over a period of time, and then manifesting results when Saturn and Venus are placed together. Saturn and Venus also means a big karmic debt you need to pay to people of the opposite gender, that a karmic debt that you need to pay because of sensual pleasures that you have done a lot earlier. And so this life is go slow, steady, deserve, and then you desire and things will be given to you. So these are some of Saturn's placements. In fact, I have talked about all the conjunctions and how they manifest. A longer video, each one of them may come later, where I will talk more in detail about Jupiter and Saturn energies in a separate video for it, and a separate video for Saturn and Rahu, separate video for Saturn and Ketu. But this is more like a ready reckoner for Saturn conjunctions in your horoscope, how they will manifest, what do they mean, and what you need to do. So look into your horoscopes and see if Saturn is in a conjunction with any planet, or Saturn is in a mutual aspect, 7-7-1-7 relationship. Saturn being in the first house, another planet in the 7th house, means they are also in mutual aspect. Those results become, those conjunctions, those sharing of energies become most important for you. Saturn and Mars, first house Saturn and 10th house Mars, again there is a 4th aspect of Mars on Saturn and 10th aspect of Saturn on Mars, or 1 and 7 position also, again mutual aspect. So look into the mutual aspect of Saturn with a planet, or Saturn is in conjunction with a planet. They are telling you a lot about, both at a spiritual level, at a karma level, what you need to do and where you need to work hard over a period of time and get those results. But those results will be long lasting, those results will be steady, those results will bring stability to you, and those results will not be taken for you, because those all positions are the result that you deserve, and that has been given to you. But it won't be easy. The journey will have obstacles, the journey will have upheavals depending on what the conjunction is. If you are able to adhere to rules, regulations, norms, ethical behavior, long work, hard work, and be patient, deserve before you desire, then those results will be given to you. So friends, please like this video, please share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please write to me at the links given below. And till some other time with some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide, signing off. Ciao.